Africa's wetland ecosystems are estimated to cover more than 131 million hectares. They deliver a wide range of ecosystem services that contribute to human well-being, such as food source, water supply and purification, climate and flood regulation, coastal protection, feeding and nesting sites, recreational opportunities, and increasingly tourism. What are wetlands? Wetlands are areas that are completely or partly or temporarily inundated, such as floodplains, swamps, and marshes, peatlands, lakes, mangroves, and river deltas. According to the Ramsar Convention of Wetlands, the inundation of a wetland is a maximum of 6 meters. Africa has 131 million hectares of wetland, and they are among the most biologically diverse ecosystems on the continent. They are home to over 2,000 known species of indigenous freshwater fish. Wetlands probably are the most diverse areas in Africa for its fishes, with over 700 identified species. Wetlands, with their abundant supply of fresh water, generally fertile soils, and high productivity. Therefore, they play a central role in the economy of all river basins and coastal zones. They provide fish, water for agriculture, household uses, and transport. Despite their importance, human activities and the changing climate are degrading wetlands faster than any other ecosystem. Because of the value of wetlands, communities have started constructing wetland, what is commonly referred to as artificial wetland. Engineer Gastori Leonard explains the value of wetlands.
Natural wetlands are the transition zones or the buffer areas between the upland areas and the water bodies. And they are there to protect the water body from pollution. And therefore, in natural wetlands, actually, there are the biological environment comprising of plants, microorganisms, and some soils, which have some special characteristics which are capable of assimilating the pollutants carried by water from the upland areas to conserve the wetlands. This is the very, very, very important way of enhancing this wetland. We conserve them, we reserve them, we leave them without destroying them. But another one is to avoid the socio-economic activities in the wetland areas, because as I say, they are there intentionally to protect the lake from inland pollutions.
There are many benefits of using an artificial wetland to manage wastewater. Seta High School in Mukono has a constructed wetland. Mr. Alan Obo, the school headmaster, explains the benefits of having the wetland.
We had a very big challenge with the drainage and then sewer, because our population is quite big. So we dug a very big septic tank. We dug various soak pits but they could be clogged now and then. So we were confused. Then finally we got in touch with Makerere University School of Environment and then the University of Dar es Salaam. So we came up with a project to construct a constructed wetland where we could control the drainage and then treat the water naturally, so that when this water is released into the environment, it doesn't affect anybody. The project has been here for the last 2 years. That's when we started it. And so far, so good, because we no longer have a problem with the water, drainage water. We no longer have a problem with the stench. We used to have a lot of stench around, but the constructed wetland has helped us so much. It is something expensive to construct, but also cheap to construct. It is cheap in such a way that you construct it once and it will live for life. And that the expense when you are saving environment and when you're saving people, I think you don't count that. It costed us some big money, but because this is a big population, because you make it according to the population that you have. With a small population, even in a home, you can have a small one. So I don't think it is all that expensive. And then the other issue that you would say, that which other benefit can you get out of it? You can see the papyrus, because now we first of all pour in stones. Those are small aggregates. Then after that you plant papyrus. And then these roots of papyrus treat the water naturally. And when this water is treated, it goes through channels. There are various channels. There are like 3 channels here that it goes through. Then once the water is released into the environment, it is very clean water. You can even put your hands and you'll see the water is clean. Now, the future plan that we have is to construct fish ponds ahead, because we're told the fish can live into that water. And when you question how, you simply imagine how much dirt, how much waste goes into the lake. If you think of the lake, you're having people dying there, you're having the sewer there. So this one is even more cleaner than the lake. At our school we have 1,000 people we take care of. The teachers, the students, the support staff. It is 1,000 people, 1,000. Now, there is this alternative of the open lagoon. But the open lagoon, whenever it rains, it stinks, it starts smelling. But this one, the water is seeping through the stones. So you don't have any effect of any smell. So I would encourage schools, I would encourage people, organizations with big populations, even with small, even in a home, to come up with this constructed wetland. If you want to get more information, you can come at Seta School. We can advise you on how to go over it.
The process of the wastewater treatment starts from here.
We have 2 types of toilets here. We have the modern flush system, and then we have the one that we push with gravity. We construct a septic kind of system. So you construct a septic, then you put openings and you build on top, so that when you drop there, what happens is that there is this water that moves naturally. Whenever students bathe, whenever they are using their taps, the water will flow into the system and automatically flushes out the sewer. And then it will connect down into the main septic tank that we saw down there. Then the water will get into the constructed wetland.
Artificial wetlands are imitating the same processes taking place in the natural wetlands. It is a combination of processes: the physical processes, the chemical processes, and the biological processes. So these wetlands treatment wetlands are capable of removing the pollutants from wastewater in the form of organic matter, in the form of nutrients, in the form of particulate matter, in the form of microorganisms, in the form of heavy metals. So they are capable of reducing these pollutants to the required level to enable the water to be reused, say for irrigation agriculture, say for fish farming, say for gardening activities, and all these type of activities. So it's reduction of the pollutant to the required level by the chemical, biological, and the physical mechanisms. This actually is a new technology. It's an engineering facility, planned, designed, constructed, operated, and maintained to treat wastewater. So these wetlands actually, they are designed to imitate the natural processes which are taking place in the natural wetlands. So things like wetland plants, enhancement of macrobiological organisms, the substrate in the form of soil or aggregates are the ones which form an artificial wetland, which actually is an imitation of the natural wetlands. So these systems, as I said, they are designed to treat wastewater. It can be domestic wastewater, it can be municipal wastewater, it can be an industrial wastewater. Currently, there have been advancements in using these constructed wetland or artificial wetland in treating wastewater, because there seems to be of less total construction cost as compared to the conventional wastewater treatment technologies we know, but also they require minimal operation maintenance as compared to the conventional ones. But also even the land requirement for especially for the subsurface flow type of treatment wetland is less as compared to the conventional ones. But also it looks like the treatment wetlands or artificial wetlands are ideal for decentralized wastewater treatment. They can fit for a single household, to a small community, to a municipal, to a city. They cater across all these demands. And again, treatment wetlands provides the potential for reuse of treated wastewater.
With the appropriate graduate, both solid and wastewater move down to the constructed wetland, where natural treatment processes are done. With the ever-increasing need for fresh environment, wetlands should be respected, they should be conserved, and they should be kept as a place that enhances the well-being of a community, not only for the life that live in the wetlands, but even for the communities that live around it.